Hey, welcome to my Ironman series. For this series, I'm essentially just starting an Ironman account on Old School RuneScape from scratch and working my way up to probably eventually like maxing the account. Um, but I mean that's a stretch. I've never maxed an account before. Um, but essentially, the idea here is that I just wanted to start an Ironman. Um, Kind of just to challenge myself. I've been playing RuneScape for a long time, but I've never been particularly good at it, and I've always avoided like certain content that I found intimidating and just things like that. So with an Iron Man, you're kind of forced into doing more of the content that you wouldn't normally do, and you're forced to like earn all of your resources yourself and things like that. Uh, and then I'm also going to just kind of go out of my way to push myself to do like more content as well, even if it's not necessary. Um, just because I'm just trying to experience more things and just get a really good feel for the game, and yeah, just trying to have a good time with it. So you could see here that I got a clip here of me pickpocketing master farmers. This is the first clip I recorded, but this was all done on like day one of the account. Basically, I started and immediately started pickpocketing men, and then I moved on to I did tea stalls for a little bit, and then I went over to R down and did cake stalls until I think like 25, or well, a mixture of cake and silk. I did a lot of cake so that I could have some like pretty good early game food, and then as soon as I could start doing silk, I did a little bit of that because you can just wait 10 minutes and sell them right back to the silk merchant, and you can make some pretty good gold. So yeah, I did some combination of like cake and silks. I realized like cakes I think are actually better XP. So I did silks for a little bit, and then I kind of was like, all right, this is taking forever, and I moved on to going back to cakes until 25, and then I did fruit stalls. It was somewhere over in like Hosidius or something like that. I'm not super familiar with that area, but yeah, it was somewhere on like Great Current, I'm pretty sure. I did that until 38, and then I did the Master Farmers to 43, which you could see just now. And now I'm just gearing up to go kill chickens. I did not need to bring all those teas, but reason I decided to do chickens on day one was so that I could get a bunch of feathers and just some basic combat XP as well. But I really wanted to get feathers for some early fishing, so that's kind of where this is heading. I end up going and killing chickens for a little bit on day one, and then I back up on day two with some more chickens, and then I pretty much just get straight into fishing from there. So yeah, you'll see me making my way over to the chickens. I will say, this obviously starts out very slow, as you can imagine with any brand new account, but at the time of me recording this voiceover, I have been playing the account for a pretty significant amount of time now, and I'm having a ton of fun with it. I made a lot of progress. So I can say that, it ramps up and it gets pretty exciting. And so while I'm killing these chickens, I'm just going to talk real quick about getting into day two, because I know I talked about how I'm getting the feathers so I can do some fishing. Well, I'm pretty sure I didn't record any clips of me actually doing any of the fishing. So you're going to see me jump straight into Tempoross for day two. But I do still want to like talk about what I did to get here and everything. So pretty sure I started out. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember that well what I did at this point. I know I did shrimps and like anchovies for a bit. Um, and then I believe I went and bought some bait and did some regular like fishing with a fishing pole, and I was catching things like sardines and whatever else you. I don't really know like what else you catch with that method, but I did that until I could do fly fishing, and then I went to Barbarian Village, and yeah, just did fly fishing. I think it starts out at trouts at like level 15, and then it's like salmon at like maybe 25 or 30. I can actually check that right now. So trout's at 20, salmon at 30. It looks like sardine and herring and then pike is kind of the progression with the regular fishing rod. But I'm pretty certain I went straight into fly fishing at 20 as soon as I could. So yeah, I started like near the lumberj swamp with a small net, cooking everything and banking it. And then I went to, I actually don't even remember where I went for the regular fishing rod fishing. Um, but same idea, I was banking everything. And then Barbarian Village, like I said, with trout and salmon. Still cooking everything and still banking it all. Just because it's an Ironman account and you never know when these items are going to come in handy. Sometimes you just need something random, and honestly, those are also pretty decent food for like a low level character. Um, so yeah, I did that until I could come to Tempoross. Let me see, because I don't remember what the level is. 35 is the requirement for Tempoross. So yeah, did salmon until 35, and then went straight to Tempoross. As far as like why that was the first things I did on this account, um, thieving really I started just because it's like a pretty convenient thing to just start out with. You can immediately start pickpocketing men, get a little bit of gold, and then like cakes are a pretty decent source of food early on. And yeah, and then you can get into things like blackjacking, which is like really good XP and like pretty damn good money as well. Um, and on top of all of that, I really just don't actually like thieving that much. So for me to like start out with it is a little bit of a strategic thing on my part, just to like have it kind of done with in a way. I find it crazy that on day one I was able to get all the way up to 43. Like that's a pretty good chunk of, you know, how much thieving I'm like going to have to do on the account, at least for things like questing and like achievement diaries. Like that's already a pretty high chunk of it done. I'm pretty sure the highest quest requirement for thieving is like 70, maybe 75. But other than that, I can do like most of the quests as far as thieving is concerned already. And then for fishing, again, I'm also not super into fishing. I typically like that to be an AFK in the background kind of thing. But as I stated earlier, wanted to challenge myself to try like new and different content. And Tempoross is totally brand new to me. Had never played it before this, so this was an experience that I wanted to try, and I heard that it was a pretty good way to kind of start out an Ironman account. I know it used to be popular to start out with Wintertot. A lot less people are doing that nowadays. I think the reason that less people are doing Wintertot first is because the rewards scale with like your stats, I'm pretty sure. So like the higher farming level, the higher wood cutting level, things like that, you be more likely to get like better rewards. So I think people are doing a lot less of starting out on Wintertot. And also like fire making's kind of useless. The rewards are really like the cool thing with Wintertot, and you could like max out fire making really fast, but I mean, who really cares about fire making? But yeah, with Tempoross, it's just something new, and it's got pretty damn good rewards. Yeah, I see that I'm also now at the fishing trawler. I will quickly explain what I'm doing here. Uh, so this is a method to get the minimum amount of points to get a reward. Basically, you just bring a hatchet and a hammer. When this tentacle comes up and smacks the railing, you wood cut the tentacle, and then once it leaves, you repair the railing. And if you successfully do this, I think like 4 times or something like that, you've earned enough points to get a reward. And then you can just go sit on your ass and wait for the next round. I'm here to get the angler outfit. But anyways, back to what I was saying about Tempoross. The rewards that you get there, you can get things like the fishing barrel, which basically just allows you to hold a ton more like fish in your inventory, so it makes less bank trips necessary. So something like Karamwan fishing is like way more effective. You can get spirit flakes, which turn the angler outfit into the spirit angler. And then there's some other things you can get there. The other notable thing is the dragon harpoon. Now you can also get a tackle box. Personally, I don't think the tackle box sounds very useful to me. I would be curious to see how people are using it and if it's actually like a beneficial thing to have at all. But essentially what it sounds like to me is you can store a whole bunch of different types of like fishing related like trinkets or like bait and things like that in there, and it all goes into one inventory slot. But I just don't really see how that's particularly useful. You can see here I looted my angler waders. That was the last piece I needed. So I did just kind of catch a clip of me getting the final piece that I needed, and then I can head back to Tempoross. But yeah, the tackle box just doesn't sound very useful to me. I don't see why you would want to bring multiple different types. Like if you're gonna go fishing, you know what you're gonna go fishing for, and you're gonna bring the like 1 or maybe 2 items that you need for it. So there's like never a situation that I can think of where the tackle box actually comes in handy. But maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there's like a use for it that I'm just not aware of. And then other notable kind of things that I would say are worth considering is that you can get things like rune armor and I guess like you get a lot of like jewelry, you get a lot of fish, you get a lot of planks. Planks is actually pretty huge. You get a lot of planks from Tempoross. For an Ironman account, that's massive. That is construction XP banked without you having to like cut wood and pay money to make planks and stuff. So yeah, Tempoross overall is like pretty useful. I'm glad I started my account that way. But yeah, man, that angler outfit looks pretty swaggy, I gotta say. So this is me just heading back to Tempoross in case you were wondering how to get there. You just go to Alcarid, and then like just west of the bank there's a little rowboat that you take to get there. Man, I gotta say though, I was so excited when I got the full angler set. I can't like overstate that. It took a while and it's so boring. I recommend doing the grind, but I recommend having something else going on while you're doing it. Watch a movie, watch a show, something. I might as well take some time to explain how I'm actually playing Tempoross, like what I'm actually doing in each game. Okay, so for starters, as you can see, I've got a harpoon and 2 buckets and a rope in my inventory. The buckets are filled with water as well. Probably should also have a hammer. Hopefully I realize that, and once I get into the mini game, I grab a hammer. All these supplies are available to you once you get in. There's crates you can grab everything from, so I'm probably gonna go grab a hammer once I find out where they are. There they are. Okay, and then you want to make your way down and get right into some fishing right off the bat. What I typically like to do is grab anywhere between like 5 and 7 to fish, or you could say 6, 7, uh, and then immediately go start cooking them. Because ideally, what you have going on here is you try to maximize the amount of time you're catching fish at the spots where you're getting double, but obviously those don't spawn right off the bat, and you don't want to just be standing there idly waiting. So you go grab like 5 or 6, and once you finish cooking them, that should be the perfect amount of time. As you can see, it worked out pretty good here. Then it spawns one of these leaping spots, and when you fish these, there's a chance you get double. So you want to maximize the amount of time you're fishing at these spots. I'm going to do this until I get a full inventory, or I guess until the spot goes away. If the storm starts to come in, you'll see this thing taking over your screen where you get like water coming down. You just have to grab onto this totem pole. That's what the rope is for. The rope essentially braces you to this pole and makes it so the storm doesn't take you away and destroy a bunch of your items. There's also a pole on the boat. I believe it's just the mast, but you can basically do the same thing with the mast on the ship. So that way, if you're all the way over there, you don't have to like run down here. So yeah, you see I cooked a few more, and then another spot opened up. I'm fishing there now. Boom, full inventory. Now you're just gonna cook until your entire inventory is full of cooked fish. Occasionally these storms come in, they drop fire. That's what the buckets of water are for. If you walk through them, they will also destroy your items. So if they're ever blocking your path, you just want to throw a bucket of water on it, get rid of it. And then there's a water tap on that little dock. There's also a water tap on the boat. So if you ever need to replenish your bucket of water, you can just do that at any of the taps. Okay, once you have a full inventory, come up here and load up this ammo crate, and it's going to start shooting fish at the boss. You get huge XP drops for this. Here comes another one of those water things. There you just attach yourself to the mast, keep you safe. And that's why the Spirit Angler outfit comes in handy, because it acts as a rope, so you don't need to have it in your inventory, and you can just tether yourself. But yeah, unload the full inventory of cooked fish on him. You can see in the top left. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for myself so I can actually see. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to see from here, but basically you can see in the top left it has like some parameters for like the boss. I don't remember exactly what they are. I think one of them's like life essence and the other one's like spirit or something like that. Basically, as one of them depletes, which is the top one, eventually it hits 0 and then he gets weakened, and that's when you're going to run over here and fish from this pool, and now you're actually hurting the guy. So shooting all those fish at him before was just kind of weakening him, and once he gets to completely deplenished, you can come over here and actually start hurting him. You get some pretty good XP drops from this as well, and you'll see that his actual life force is going down now, but the shield itself is kind of coming back up. So they're moving in tandem, but in opposite directions. So when that shield gets back up to full, you're no longer going to be able to keep hurting him. He's going to be left with something like 20, maybe 30% life, and you're going to have to go repeat the process. So, yep, just keep going until that fills back up, and then you just want to repeat basically everything that we did from the start, maximizing the amount of time you're fishing from the double spots. This time I don't necessarily recommend getting a full inventory. I mean, if you can, that's great. There's much less time to like do that this time around, especially to like go through the whole process of filling the inventory, cooking all of it, and unloading all of it, it's very unlikely you're going to get through all of that. So try to just kind of find your rhythm and find out how much you can actually do for this kind of second round. And then you'll also see in that top left corner that you have some amount of points. I would look it up on the wiki. I don't remember the exact numbers, but there's essentially a minimum number that you need to gain rewards at all. It's something like 2,000, maybe 2,500. But you want to shoot for like 4,000, maybe a little more than 4,000. It seems to vary game to game. The wiki will tell you at like, oh, 4,800 is like when you get the fifth roll for drops or something like that. I've seen 5 rolls from like 4,200 points. Or I've seen like 4, like it seems like it just varies. Sometimes you get 4, sometimes you get 5, sometimes you even get 3, being around the 4,000 point mark. So what I would say is just always try to shoot for like 4,200, and then you're gonna probably get like 4 or 5 reward points from that in general, which is good. That's a good number. Now, if you're less interested in the rewards and you just want to maximize XP, I think the strat is to not cook the fish. You just want to keep like fishing and then loading up the cannon, fishing, loading up the cannon, etc. You will still get rewards, you'll just get less, but you'll get much more XP. Personally, I'm more interested in the rewards, so I've been maximizing my point values. Yeah, again, in my little editing screen here, I can't exactly see where my point value's at or anything like that, but I'll tell you, I typically try to shoot for about 4,200. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I'm a little shy. But as long as you're shooting for that number, you're going to get, at a minimum, probably 3 reward tokens. And I'm happy with that. If I could get 3, 4, maybe even 5 per game, that's good for me. And then once you finish your game, if you want to go collect your rewards, hopefully I do that in this clip. You come over here, you ask for a net from the guy that's sitting down, and then you're going to net this reward pool. And you'll see you get random rewards. There's some spirit flakes, pike, and it looks like salmon, and some planks. I forgot to talk about the planks. Yeah, you get a lot of planks here, which I think is going to come in handy for construction later. But that's it. I'm going to stop episode 1 here, and yeah, we'll just keep it pushing in episode 2. I think this is a pretty convenient point because basically I just end up doing Tempoross for a while, and then I, start to move into some more interesting stuff. So we'll pick back up at episode 2 with some questing and achievement diary stuff, and we'll see what else we get into. But thank you for watching, and I hope you continue to watch, and I hope you enjoy the series. If you have any feedback, any recommendations, let me know. I understand it's a little shoddy. This is my first time making any videos. It will get better over time, but I'm still open to any suggestions, obviously. So thank you. See you on episode 2.